What do you see in those piles of dry branches and rotting logs in the corner of your yard? Most of us see waste that needs to be burned, but in reality, those are the most durable energy batteries for your soil that you are accidentally throwing away. While you spend money on fertilizers and struggle with irrigation systems, nature has already provided a perfect, self-operating solution within those discarded wood fibers. We have abandoned an ancient technique capable of completely transforming garden productivity without costing a single cent. Today, I will help you discover the secret of burying rotten wood, how to turn garden waste into a nutritional treasure that lasts for decades. European medieval origins. Centuries ago, deep within the rugged mountain ranges of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, a quiet revolution in agriculture was born. While modern science focuses on laboratory-made inputs, medieval peasants were practicing an art they called Hugelkultur. They watched the ancient forests, observing how massive fallen oaks and pines didn't just disappear, but became the very foundation for new life. These farmers realized that by burying wood and branches beneath their fields, they could create a permanent, self-sustaining production system. Today, we call this mound culture, a legacy of wisdom passed down through generations who understood that the Earth's greatest wealth is hidden beneath its surface. We have largely forgotten these lessons, but the wood beneath the soil still holds the power to transform our modern landscapes. Why forests don't need watering, yet remain lush. Have you ever walked through a primary forest during the height of a scorching summer drought? The grass in your backyard is brown, the city parks are parched, yet the forest remains a vibrant, deep emerald green. There are no irrigation pipes in the wilderness. No one arrives with a garden hose to save the ferns and the saplings. The secret lies in the living floor. In the forest, death is the engine of life. Fallen logs and layers of leaf litter create a thick, spongy carpet that traps every drop of rain. This organic layer doesn't just sit on top. It integrates with the soil to form a massive reservoir. While we spend billions of dollars on complex irrigation systems and synthetic fertilizers, the forest uses a much simpler technology, the cycle of decomposition. By burying wood in our gardens, we are essentially importing the operating system of the forest. We are creating a subsurface layer that manages water and nutrients automatically, 24 hours a day, without a single watt of electricity or a drop of municipal water. Rotten wood acts as a sponge. To understand the genius of this method, we must look at the cellular structure of wood. When wood is alive, it is a complex network of tiny tubes designed to transport water from the roots to the leaves. When that wood dies and begins to rot, those tubes don't disappear. They open up. Fungi and bacteria begin to break down the lignin and cellulose, turning a hard log into a biological sponge. As wood decomposes, its density decreases and its porosity increases. This creates millions of microscopic chambers. When it rains, or when the snow melts, these buried logs soak up moisture until they are completely saturated. A single rotted log can hold several times its own weight in water. In a traditional garden, rainwater hits the surface and either runs off or evaporates within hours. In a Hugelkultur bed, that water is pulled deep into the sponge, locked away from the drying sun, and stored in a cool, dark vault until the plants need it most. Long-term drought resistance of the mound. The true value of this sponge becomes apparent during a heat wave. As the surface soil dries out, a physical phenomenon occurs. A moisture gradient is created. The thirsty roots of your vegetables sense the water stored in the buried wood and grow deeper to reach it. This is a slow-release mechanism. Water isn't dumped all at once. It is released molecule by molecule from the core of the wood directly into the rhizosphere, the area where roots and soil meet. Because this water is stored underground, it is protected from the primary enemy of the gardener, evaporation. In a standard raised bed, the wind and sun are constantly stripping moisture from the soil. But in our buried wood system, the moisture is liquid gold, kept in a safe. This allows your plants to survive weeks or even months of extreme heat without showing signs of stress. The leaves remain turgid, the fruit continues to swell, and the gardener remains calm, knowing that the biological battery beneath the soil is still at 90% capacity. Soil warming effect from the decomposition process. There is a second, invisible benefit to burying wood: heat. Decomposition is not a passive event, it is a slow-motion fire. As billions of microscopic organisms, bacteria, fungi, and actinomycetes, consume the carbon in the wood, they release energy in the form of heat. This is an exothermic reaction. In a large Hugelkultur mound, the internal temperature can be several degrees warmer than the surrounding air. This creates a heated floor for your garden. During the early spring and late autumn, when frost threatens to kill sensitive seedlings, the warmth rising from the decomposing wood keeps the soil temperature stable. This effectively extends your growing season. You can plant earlier in the year and harvest later into the winter. By burying wood, you aren't just building a garden. You are building an underground furnace that protects your crops from the biting cold of the transition seasons. Rotten wood is a slow-release nutrient store for 10 to 20 years. Modern agriculture is addicted to the fast hit of synthetic fertilizers, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium delivered in a soluble form that provides a temporary spike in growth but leaves the soil exhausted. Burying wood is the antithesis of this approach. It is the ultimate slow food for plants. As the wood breaks down over a decade or more, it slowly releases a steady stream of nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and essential micronutrients. This process is so stable that it prevents nutrient shock. Your plants never get too much at once, and they never run out. Because the wood is rich in carbon, it prevents the leaching of nitrogen, holding it in the root zone where it belongs. The best part? The soil actually gets better every year. In a standard garden, you have to add more compost and fertilizer every season just to keep up. In a wood-buried system, the soil becomes darker, richer, and more fungal-dominated with every passing year. You are investing in a 20-year insurance policy for your food security. Creating a microclimate for crops. By building mounds over buried wood, we are changing the topography of the garden. We are no longer limited to flat, two-dimensional surfaces. These mounds create microclimates. The steep sides of the mound provide different aspects. Some faces get more sun, others get more shade. This allows you to plant heat-loving peppers on the south-facing side and cool-loving lettuce on the north-facing side, all within the same square meter. The height of the mound also improves drainage. Even in areas with heavy clay soil or high rainfall, the mound ensures that the roots are never drowning. You have created a vertical ecosystem. This diversity of light, heat, and moisture allows you to push the boundaries of what is possible in your climate. You are no longer a victim of your local weather. You are a designer of your own biological environment. Roots don't dry out or get cold. Suddenly, stability is the key to plant health. Most plant diseases, especially yellowing leaves and wilting, are caused by stress. The sudden swing between too much water and too little, or a flash freeze followed by a hot afternoon. Because of the thermal mass of the wood and the consistent moisture of the sponge, these swings are dampened. The root system of a plant in a wood-based bed is buffered. It lives in a state of constant, predictable comfort. This leads to massive, vigorous growth and, more importantly, a stronger immune system for the plant. When a plant doesn't have to spend all its energy fighting environmental stress, it can spend that energy producing secondary metabolites, the compounds that give fruits and vegetables their flavor and their nutritional value. Your food doesn't just look better, it is more medicinal and nutrient-dense because the plant lived a stress-free life. Why modern agriculture has abandoned this method? If this method is so effective, why isn't everyone doing it? The answer is simple: industrialization. Modern agriculture is designed for the machine, not the biology. Huge tractors and harvesters require flat, uniform, empty fields. They cannot navigate mounds of buried wood. Furthermore, our modern economy is built on short-termism. We want a crop in 60 days, and we are willing to destroy the soil's long-term health to get it. Burning wood is faster than burying it. Selling chemical fertilizers is more profitable than teaching a farmer how to use rotted logs. We have traded resilience for convenience. We have replaced a 20-year cycle of fertility with a 3-month cycle of dependency. By returning to this ancient method, you are making a radical choice. You are choosing the long game. You are opting out of the industrial cycle and returning to a system that honors the complexity of the earth. Growing exotic crops in grassland areas. The results of this method are nothing short of miraculous. There are stories of gardeners in cold, wind-swept regions who have successfully grown lemons, kiwis, and grapes, crops that should never survive in their zone. How? By using the heat and microclimate of the Hugelkultur mounds to cheat the weather. Because the wood core mounds provide a steady 54 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius, at the root level even in winter, and because the raised structure captures every bit of available sunlight, the impossible becomes routine. You don't need expensive, energy-hungry glass greenhouses to grow a Mediterranean garden in a temperate zone. You just need enough rotted wood to build a foundation that nature can work with. You can turn a barren, grassy lot into a tropical-style food forest simply by understanding what lies beneath. Solution for drought and rising costs. As we move into an era of unpredictable weather and skyrocketing costs for water and fertilizer, we can no longer afford to be wasteful. Burying wood is the ultimate solution for the modern homesteader. It turns garden waste, the branches you would have burned and the logs you would have hauled away, into your most valuable asset. This is a one-time investment that pays dividends for decades. You build it once, and you harvest for 20 years. No expensive equipment, no monthly bills for chemical inputs, no constant worrying about the next drought. You are taking the trash of the garden and building a foundation for the future. You are creating a soil that is truly sustainable, truly resilient, and truly alive.